It's a holy place that God meets us.
It is the one thing that as husband and wife, we only share with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that,
we can
that
have
we
great,
share with no one else.
right. We can have great conversation.
We share
with
a lot
other
of other
people.
things together.
Yeah.
But this is one place that is shared with no one else.
Thanks for joining the Home Matters Podcast with Eric and Gena Boggs, where they lead authentic, raw discussions about marriage, family life, kids, intimacy, and sex from a biblical perspective. Now here's your host, Eric and Gena Boggs.
Well, hello. Welcome to Home Matters. I just had a big yawn.
I was
going to
say, they couldn't see it, but you just like your mouth just like, yeah, that was a big
We've
yawn.
had some technical difficulties today. And
just a few.
Yeah.
We're kind of
Got
a new set.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know.
But we're glad you joined us today.
Yeah. One time it was his fault, though.
Yeah, it was.
Your fault.
And one time it's your fault.
Yeah.
And the other time it was some of our other folks' fault.
But we are thankful for our other folks.
Yep.
Yeah, so many people that help make this happen, right?
Yeah,
so, Home Matters Podcast today.
What number is this? 72?
This is 72. Yeah.
And,
and you might want to go back, married couples, and check number 71 because this is kind of part two.
This is a companion.
A companion podcast to 71.
Podcast, 71.
Okay.
Yep. What did we talk about last time?
Well, last time we talked about what men need to know about intimacy and sex. So what husbands need to know.
What
and Eric
wives
and I
wish their husbands knew.
Yes. We just kind of had a conversation about that and, some things that might help you.
So today the subject is what husbands wish their wives knew.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. What women need to know.
Wish their wives knew about
what I need to know
sex.
From your point of view.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
And she tells me I kind of get uptight.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes on a podcast, if you're talking about intimacy and sex, Eric just kind of
freezes up.
Yeah, which is like not his personality at all. So I don't know what happens behind the camera.
I just get uncomfortable because I'm not in person, and I know there are people out there that may not know me or not able to. Personally engage.
Right.
Where I don't get that way when we're in person, when we're doing the getaways or marriage conference or.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that bad.
No, you aren't. It's just a little
I'm probably
different.
too raw.
Well, sometimes probably, yeah.
Too loose. But
no, when we're like this sometimes. So you can't be intimidated today. You can't be nervous today because we're going to help some couples. You can't even say it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about sex and
intimacy.
Intimacy and sex.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, first, let's say this. So, we got to look at it from God's perspective.
Absolutely.
We always address the fact that sex is something that is a gift from God and it's made something dirty and bad by the world we live in.
Can be, and especially by the church sometimes.
Yeah, the church
it's like
paints
a
bad light. Yeah.
topic, or
But we want you to know that sex is a gift from God, and
absolutely.
He has established this relationship of husband and wife, and in that context, it's a beautiful thing. It's a pure thing. It's a holy place that God meets us.
It is the one thing that as husband and wife we only share with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can have
share with no one else.
Right. We can have great conversation.
We share a lot of other things together.
Yeah.
But this is one place that is shared with no one else except together.
That's what I'm saying. Like conversation, that's the beautiful part of relationship, communication. But you can have wonderful conversation and communication with other people.
Yep.
Even affection, but this intimate relationship, this is the one and the only place. So last time I tried to help you.
To know what I need to know.
To know what you need to know.
I know everything already.
Well,
what I'm
evidently we need to do another podcast on that.
We're going to teach you.
You're going to teach me what I need to know?
No, what we're going to talk about is what wives need to know, what husbands would like for their wives to know.
Okay,
when it comes to their this part of
you talk to husbands sometimes.
Yep.
So Help us out here.
Well, first
Tell us
of all,
something we don't know.
I would say that we want you to know that we like it.
You like what?
We like sex.
We already knew that.
Well, again, it's not something that just is. Now, again, about 80% of couples say that usually a husband has a higher sex drive.
Yeah. It's not exactly the same.
But again, if I've got a high sex drive and my wife don't understand
or don't appreciate that,
don't appreciate the fact it's the way I'm wired, it's kind of the way God designed me.
It's the way you made.
And that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Just because I want sex doesn't mean that I'm some kind of,
crazed,
sex starved.
Yeah.
Because I want sex with my wife is not a bad thing. It's like I said, I deal with couples. I've dealt with couples, and wives sometimes act like all their husbands want with me is sex, and I understand without the intimate piece, without the whole of the intimate relationship,
without the affection I
understand that. But again,
involvement.
His desire for sex with you is his wife after 10 or 15 years.
Right. Or 37.
We've been married 37 years. My desire for sex with my wife is not a bad thing.
Right.
It's actually a good thing. That's a positive, not a negative. And I'm just saying that sometimes because we have this desire for sex, we like sex. Again, men are usually higher drive. That's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
It should be something that is recognized as a compliment. You look at the Song of Solomon, there's an expression there of desire, right? And
well, she shows desire for him as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably another I'm talking for you right now, but I think that's probably another thing that's important for wives to know is that we can appreciate and honor and respect the way that God has created our husband in his desire, right?
Yeah.
And not always look down on that desire or shame him for his desire. And that's my point.
I mean, as simple as saying we like sex, but my point is this: it's not a bad thing,
right?
With that, again, I would say that what I want you to know is I want you to know that I think, or that you desire sex as well.
You want to know that I'm interested as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that as a wife,
you're willing to take initiative.
Yeah. I was going to say that as a wife, that I honor your desire, the way that you're created, and in the way need. That I show that is by initiating myself sometime, making myself available, right?
Even expressing desire, expressing that, what's wrong with a wife? I want my wife to say, hey, I want to fulfill that need in your life. That's a good thing, right? Yeah. So again, I think that my wife, if she knows that her taking initiative carries me, it encourages me. I've always said, she takes initiative, just watch out, tonight's the night. And again, I think most men, they love the fact that their wife will take the initiative. I'm having technical difficulties here
again.
Still, but
wrapped up in your cords.
Yeah, but in that is something that I know that she's planned, or that she's thought about.
Yep.
Boy, I want to buy roses, write notes, or whatever. All those things that feed or that communicate to my wife.
Well, you mentioned Song of Solomon earlier, and the desire that's shown there, the passion. But man, the wife in the Song of Solomon, I mean, she's planned.
She's frisky, isn't she?
Is that the right word? I don't know if they even knew that word in the Song of Solomon.
I think that it said something like, tonight I'm just feeling very frisky.
Is that what it says? That's the Eric Boggs translation.
Yeah.
Right. No, she did take initiative. She did make herself available.
Right.
She loved that he desired her. And she was very vocal about her desire for him. She really fueled that, didn't she? She did.
And that's what I'm saying. So, I think that me knowing that you're willing, you want to meet that place in my life, you have desire. I think that reciprocates. It causes, it fuels the relationship, the romance, the intimacy.
Fuels that
Again,
part,
I do communicate that much more. I'm more aware. And again, where
well, with anyone where we feel understood, where we feel valued, where we feel appreciated, we're going to be so much quicker we are to really dive into the relationship.
Yeah.
Am I making any sense of what I'm trying to say there? So as you feel understood or appreciated or your desire valued, then as you said, that's reciprocated.
Yeah, and you're getting into places there that I think, at a deeper level, for you to have respect.
Yeah.
And for you to value that part of my life, that you value that and you don't disdain it.
Right.
Again, I'm just saying that I've seen that in relationships where it's almost like a wife kind of degrades or diminishes. She demeans the fact that,
That's
he's
so
got
true.
this, it's like this little problem he's got. What is that problem? He wants sex. Well, shouldn't be a problem, right?
That's right.
And,
when we understand and appreciate that God has created him that way.
I feel like, with us, I feel like the fact that you honor that you honor me as your husband and my desire, that you respect that. It's not
right.
It's not degraded. They're not
looked
tones
down upon.
Yeah, they're not tones of condescension where, you feel like it's kind of condescendingly, we'll have sex. This is what you
got to have.
You got to have. I guess I'll just have to do this. But again, boy, what a turnoff,
Yeah.
And again, I think that husbands.
Well, in my own life, that's come through time. I think and in understanding, and studying the word. That I am to
letting the word have effect.
That I am to respect. That I am to honor. That my husband is created this way.
Yeah.
In Proverbs, it says, "Let him enjoy the wife of his youth."
Yeah.
It's hard to
Let me enjoy. Boy, that's a good one.
But you like that
I
one?
want my wife to know that I want to enjoy her. I do enjoy her. I enjoy all of
Well,
her.
it's hard to enjoy someone who is, pushing back all the time and just living in disdain. So it really is what you said, is letting the word have effect in your life. 1 Corinthians 7, where it says, I don't withhold myself. I don't have the authority to do that, and neither does he.
I like for you, like you say, I like what you need to know. I like for you to plan. I like for you to, I like to know you've taken the initiative, taken a shower, taken a bath, made preparation, being
got
clean.
The candles lit.
Yeah, I like, men like clean.
The rose petals out there.
Men are always not grimy,
I brought
nasty.
that one out last time. Yeah. That we like you to be clean, right?
Yeah, well, again, as a wife likes for her husband to have some hygiene and have some clean, it's not always grimy. Husbands
grimy, that's great.
I want a wife that's, taken care of, that her hygiene is good. I want all of that.
What about, because this is what I think you would say, men just maybe a little.
What do I want you to know?
Yeah, I think I know one that I'm going to throw at you, that you like to play.
Sure.
Whether it is.
I like to enjoy the wife of my youth.
Yes, and that curiosity. You say that? Little boys are curious, and I don't know that you ever really grow out of that. I'm not a little boy now, but I'm not saying you're a little boy. I'm saying men never grow out of some of that.
I think that comes back to the visual thing.
You like to see.
Yeah, all of that kind of runs together, but, I want you to know that I like to see you. I like your body. I like your body parts. And, again, that's looked at in such a way today as, almost a perverted.
I think it's because of all the porn and stuff that's out there and
I
available.
But because as a husband, as your husband, for me to have that desire to see you doesn't make me a pervert.
No, it doesn't.
And I think women look at it that way.
Yeah.
Let me cover up and you don't need to see all this.
Some of it is that we look at it that way. But some of it is the fact that I think overall we women struggle with the way we look and what has happened to our bodies.
I've heard you say things through the years.
Yeah, I mean, after having 4 babies and the last one like being the size of a 3-month-old when he showed up, I mean, just the things that happen to our bodies and through time. I mean, age stuff that has nothing to do with having a baby. It just has to do with.
Why are you doing this?
Because I'm just talking about me, my face and.
Well, they call it that. Plastic stuff.
I feel like I have fuzz on my mouth.
But you can get some tightening.
Some plastic surgery.
Yeah, we can get some tightening.
I'd rather spend my money on something else, honestly, as long as you it's not like real the way I look. But yeah. But I'm just saying
we're not against plastic surgery, by the way, if you get offended. If you got the money to do it and you want to spend your money there, do it, I guess.
I'm just saying
get you some
the way that
all kind of stuff. You get some little extra boobies and all that stuff too.
The way women struggle though with the way that we look. Sometimes it is, I think, just that we may look at it as, why do you have to see? That's just, you're sick. What's wrong with you? But I think a lot of times as well is because we are so uncomfortable in our own body.
What I want you to know is none of that matters.
Okay.
None of that matters. A little baby pooch or whatever you want to call it, stretch marks, whatever you want to say. Okay. All of that does not matter. I like you. Mm-hmm. I like to see you. I like your body. I like all the different little things that are going on with you, right?
There's a lot going on.
For a wife to know that and again, just because he likes you and he's curious about you and your body and how your body works, women never can be figured out. That's the thing with husbands. We can't figure you out. True. We look at you and we think this works or think that works, and we think we should touch here, rub here. We want to play here, and all that's always changing.
That's true.
And we'd like for you to tell us what works.
Would you?
Oh yeah, if it's done.
You won't be offended. We'll tell you what works. We'll get your feelings hurt.
No, I like to know what works. I like to know what pleases you, what's pleasurable, any of that. I think that any husband out there, again, guys, if I'd say this to women out there, if you're saying it with the right tone and you're not like acting like
true. Like you're an idiot. What are you doing?
Or acting like his mama. That sure don't work in this context, does it? But again, not correcting. But, appealing, appeasing, all of that works. But I'm just saying that with that, those are things that I think that as a husband, I like to know that you're attentive, that you're attentive to the need of my life. Again, when it comes to, the proverb, we got a proverb there.
Yeah, it's one I love to share all the time. Proverbs 14:1. It says, "The wise woman builds her house," or you can also tear it down with your own hands.
Yeah,
go read it sometime. Proverbs 14:1. I've shared that with women, through the years and different, especially in marriage.
But how do you do that though? You do that by nurturing this drive, this
by relationship. Building you up by
sex should be an addition. It should be an enhancement. It should nurture our marriage. It shouldn't take it down.
Right.
And if sex is looked at in a negative light, or if it's dirty, or you look at it from a world's perspective, then it never really becomes everything that God intended for it to be. So again, what do we want you to know? We want you to know our desire for sex with you is something that's good. We want you to know that it's something that is not spread around to everybody else. It's something that we have desire for you as our wives. And if you can embrace that, and again, I want you to be playful. I like for you to,
initiate and
what's the words? I like for you to loosen up.
I know what you want.
What?
You want a crazy, wild wife in the bedroom.
Yeah.
A God-loving, crazy wife.
Yeah, you know that already.
Yeah.
I want you to be pure and chaste on the outside, though, right?
Everywhere else. Yeah.
And, I would say that's true for most husbands. again, I hope that.
Let me say this, though. That is okay.
Yeah.
Right? I think sometimes as women, we struggle with, wild, crazy woman. That can't be a godly woman, too.
This is a worldly term, but again, you want a freak in the sheets, that kind of thing, which is true to a degree. But
the marriage bed is undefiled.
But again,
Hebrews,
that concept or that context is so
it's
culturally is so perverted.
Right. But if you go to the Song of Solomon, I think you very much see that.
And the fantasy of my life is fulfilled in my wife. Mm-hmm. I want you to know you are you can fulfill every need in my life. Sexually, you can satisfy.
You have encouraged that in me, and I would say to husbands, man, encourage that in your wife. Let her know. And ladies, you understand that you do have everything your husband needs.
There's deep satisfaction. We can drink from our own well, right?
Yes.
And there's deep satisfaction. Everything's supplied in my wife. Mm-hmm. If you'll just embrace me and embrace the desire and the attraction, boy, every desire in my life is fulfilled in my wife.
And as we fulfill the need, then our needs, I think it just reciprocates.
It does.
Yeah. It does. When you just understand, this is the way God's created us together. We're not the same. Our needs are not the same. Our desires are not the same, but they work together. They can work together, right, to make a beautiful thing.
We could talk a long time.
I know, we're out of time.
But we're out of time. And again, we want you to know all this. These companion podcasts are for the purpose of encouraging.
That's right.
Man, encouraging your intimate sexual relationship. Mm-hmm. Let it become everything that God purposed it to be. What a gift.
Let it be a strength to your relationship and not something that we struggle with all the time.
But what a gift from God.
Yes, it is.
Amen.
I like it. I like you.
Always. I love you, baby. I like you. And again, come join us. Share the podcast with others. Let them know. Again, but until next time.
Tune in next time.
Your home matters. Bye-bye.